Hello and welcome back to another episode of Pop Culture Reacts, and the time has finally come. You can blame Sarah for this because she put it in. She was the one that wanted it in the
I
list
don't
for
want to
you to.
blame her because she already has to put up with you. You know that's punishment enough for anyone, isn't it? Surely, but yeah, I've got ill thoughts going in her direction right now.
As it is finally time to bring forth. His name is Kid Rock.
And it's odd because if you'd asked me before we started recording tonight, we've done hundreds of his songs, but actually, what I realise is we just talk about him a lot off camera, don't we?
Yeah.
He's an often discussed artiste, if you can use that word off camera. Yeah.
And we are doing Forever um, from the 2001 album, if I'm getting my dates right, of Cocky. Because, of course, he has to have an album called Cocky. So, do
Um,
do we dare ask where you
I mean,
stand
you know.
on Detroit's favourite son?
Well, like this is probably a good example, isn't it, of some of the stuff we talk about on here. Is we do want to react to well, certainly like what people pick, and I've often said to you like there's probably nothing that I'd say no to on here, but there's stuff that you kind of preemptively make a decision on, and sometimes that's really wrong, isn't it? Because sometimes there's gold in them there hills, isn't there? Now I think some of those hills are more barren than others for each of us. But yeah, I guess in answer to your question is, I can't stand him. Like I really can't. But I probably haven't listened to tons because the stuff I've heard I don't like, and part of that's wrapped up in is the him part of it, which we're here to kind of primarily listen to the music and react to it rather than react to the person, and it's not like he murdered 1,000 people. On those ones I think it's really fair to judge the
Yeah.
person. Like just not my cup of tea. But yeah, never really vibed with me, never really liked him. But I do think of certain artists of that era of this ilk. I do think that he has probably the best chance to maybe have a couple of tracks that I go, yeah, I don't mind that track. I just haven't heard them.
Yeah. See, I do like him musically.
Shocker.
Politically and him as a person can get right in the fucking bin. And
Although I think recent history, like and I say recent history, the last 15 years, my God, like I think what kept us safe 20 years ago is you'd read the odd art magazine interview and that was it, and they'd probably a good publicist would say, don't put that bit in. Whereas these days, they're 24/7 social media barking their somewhat very dubious views on the world at all times, and then that goes for every single viewpoint that people have. Yeah, I think it's a little bit too much, but there were probably dicks back in the day as well. We just didn't have to hear it as much.
yeah,
Just had to hear their songs, but
yeah, and definitely his last album. I can't remember if it's the one before as well. Was absolutely pesh. It was like all the things that get characterized about him. He was playing that up to the fucking 100th degree.
yeah,
Um, so I like both periods of Kid Rock. So we've got this bit, which is his rap rock period, and then he does the whole sort of southern rock thing, and I quite like the southern rock stuff as well. But yeah, the really newer stuff could just straight in the bin. But shall we get on with some
uh,
Forever?
we shall. And as much as there were some harsh words sent your way when I saw what we were doing, I am actually reasonably interested because I said to you like, the songs I've heard, I don't necessarily remember the song titles, so this could be one I've heard before. It might not be, but uh, dread somewhat is similar to excitement, isn't it? You get a similar adrenaline rush beforehand, but yeah, as much as I think I'm likely to not like it, I just want it on record going. I am going to really give it a go though, and my fingers are crossed like they always are with stuff. So let's do this.
There's the facts. Shooting a video for forever. I'm thinking of it as a tailgate party. Bring your truck and your drag-behind barbecue grills. All-day family affair. Just want everybody to come out and have a good time. And, thought we'd do something cool in Detroit.
Oh, I'm back. The fog is lifted. The earth is shifted. It raised the gifted. You knew I'd be back, so pack your to hit the road. Cause daddy's home with the funky hot grits. Thick like Al Roker. Pumping out hits, getting chips like Oprah. I told ya, do not hate or question the music I make. I make hard rock, and I mix it with the hip hop. I get you higher than a tree top. You wanna roll with the kid rock? I make southern rock, and I mix it with the hip hop. Got money like Fort Knox. I'll forever be the kid rock. Forever. The junkies are still cigar puffin', still the same, cause I ain't changed nothing. Huffin' and puffin', I got you rookies all in check, doing the redneck boogie. The king is back to retract the whack, repack my with the double fat back. Forget all that, I'm still singing. And like kids on monkey bars, I'm still swinging. Thought I got dusty, thought I get rusty, thought I get rich and quit, or he must be fat and ugly, broke, black and blue. But I'm trim, fit, rich, and I'm back for round two. Red, white in the back, blue ribbon. Get right, that's how I'm living. Giving you more than the frauds and fakes. They can't make the kind of music I make. I make hard rock, and I mix it with the hip hop. I get you higher than a tree top. You wanna roll with the kid rock? I make southern rock, and I mix it with the hip hop. I got money like Fort Knox. I'll forever be the kid rock. Forever. The black hat is back in original form. The legible, credible, inevitable storm. Way past the norm, still misbehaving. Finger in the air and the flag still waving. Young clone, don't test the boss. Cause I got this zone like Betsy Ross. You can floss in front, you can taunt and tease. But you can't with rhymes like these. Thumping like a drum kit with riffs that split picks. Bumping for the kids who twist and sit fists. I got the gift, I'm about to unwrap it. 8-ball side pocket. 8-ball in my jacket. You know how I live. Can't say that, kid. I just did. Watch me twirl like Earl the Pearl. Or just keep on kid rocking in the free world. Rock, and I mix it with the hip hop. I get you higher than a tree top. You wanna roll with the kid rock? I make southern rock, and I mix it with the hip hop. I got money like Fort Knox. I'll forever be the kid rock. Forever rock, forever hip hop, forever southern rock, forever kid rock, forever, forever.
I wish I could remember the names of some of the other tracks that I kind of have a recollection of, and I have because, like, partly I kind of want to do a bit of comparative to them, but it's a bit harder when I'm kind of going some other songs. So yeah, apologies. That's just poor memory on my part. But
So, what were you thinking of Kid Rock's Forever?
I'm trying to think of a way of providing a fair and balanced assessment. But the word that keeps coming back into my head is garbage. Absolute garbage. And you know, I said a comparative is, and I'm sure we'll do more. and maybe I will remember the other ones. But this one stands out for me in my poor memory of the absolute worst one I've ever heard him do as well. Like this is in the songs I've heard that I don't like. This takes it to a new low. And I did want to start off on a positive, and my positive was going to be I didn't hate the music, but I really did start to hate it by about the 3-minute mark, because even that had massively outstayed its welcome for me, and I kind of went, it was quite an insipid attempt at southern rock, like it felt very lazy and very by the numbers, but initially it wasn't horrible. But I guess, yeah, after a certain time it did. You talk for a little while because I've got more to moan about, but let's break it up a little bit. Like, let's not turn this into me 20 minutes moaning about Kid Rock.
So yeah, this is one of those ones where it's not my favorite off this album. And if I'm
Thank
listening
God.
to this album, it's not one that I'm
Skip it.
jumping on. Probably am going to skip it. But it is. There is very much a quintessential Kid Rock of this time. It's, that slightly metally southern rock tone, or it's southern rock with a metal guitar tone. It's the token Kid Rockism rapping and lyrics of just self braggadociousness, and being as man of the people, white trash as he was trying to be when
Lovely suit.
When he's a rich kid whose dad was like, I think he owned like some sort of factory or something. So he makes out that he was like poor and lived in the ghetto and stuff when he didn't, and it's.
If only he'd had a Joker-style accident in that factory. Why couldn't it have been a chemical factory?
But it is, to me, it's very non-offensive. It is very tokenistic of Kid Rock. As I said, it is him going on about pussy and blow and how he can't say that, and just his usual level of look at me, look at me, look at me lyrics with his new metal level rapping over it, which was the style of the time for the old man reference. But yeah, it's non-offensive, but to me, but yeah, it wouldn't be the one where I'd be like, oh, this is my Kid Rock jam.
I've never met your other half, have I? I mean, I've spoken to her on social media and stuff like that. And I tend to talk about movies and stuff like that. And I think when we're in that arena, I've got a love for that, a lot of love for that girl and the sort of stuff she likes. And then there's something like this happens, and I go, oh man, like I think me and her need to sit down across the table. Like we probably need a referee in between, but yeah, I mean, to kind of pick up on the lyrical styling. So, especially on this one, but I think in general, but especially on this one, Kid Rock's hip hop, because he mixes it with the hip hop. It's the guy in the office who's a dickbag, who at a Christmas party thinks he can rap and writes his own rap and delivers it in this way. And that's the level of hip hop delivery I feel like I get from him. And when I say a guy in the office, like one thing that kept going through my head whilst watching this is going, fucking hell, this is cringeworthy Michael Scott in the office level stuff. But without, I think, the self-referential humour. I think he really does buy into the bullshit he's presenting. And, arguably going, if that's who he is and that's his reality, then he's doing it. But no, like, someone needs to speak to this guy, and having people like you buy his stuff is not helping him. This is not what care in the community was supposed to be. And I think there's some things I want to dispute. I make punk rock. You didn't on this song. I mix it
Yes.
with the hip hop. I get you higher than a treetop. I mean, this is awful, isn't it? This is a kid writing a song, and I know his name's Kid Rock, but this is the junior level idiocy writing a song. Although I will say, as much as I dispute the punk rock, I think he does make southern rock. And there's a part of me, although I'm a little bit worried by what you said about his latter career, that I feel like I wouldn't dislike his southern rock as much as I like what he does here. I think this is almost. I think this is actually, for me, hip hop that I am, rapper that I am. I'm not. I actually find this offensive to the genre of hip hop, that this makes any claim to being hip hop. And you know, like, there's always stuff in there. Like we said on, I think it was on the last video, the Outcast one, about, like, you know, like a world where Vanilla Ice makes it into the charts and things like that. As much as I wasn't a big fan of that stuff at the time, I kind of even tolerate that existing more than this, because this is just like no talent trying to. And the thing is, like, I think a lot of people will kind of go, oh, yeah, no, I like a bit of hip hop. I like Kid Rock. And I go, oh, you don't, do you? You like this.
See,
I mean, this is dumpster fire trash without any redeeming features for me.
so it's definitely white trash. It is one of those of, I can with a critical eye stand back and look at this and go, this is terrible, but I like it.
Yeah.
That's the thing with,
Well,
with
we've
this
said,
sort of
haven't we,
period.
that there are things, aren't there, where you kind of go, and you know, like, look, if I take a battering in this from Kid Rock fans, so be it. You know, like, bah, bah, bah. And we have said on other stuff, like, there are times where I'll sit here and go, I think this is bollocks, but I love it. Like, there is something in there, isn't there, of
Yeah.
going, and you know, you've had to listen to me rant on this off camera loads, like, liking something and it being good are two entirely different things. Now, obviously, a lot of the time you do like stuff that is good, and good can have some subjectivity to it. It really can. But also, sometimes stuff's just bollocks, and this is bollocks, and I don't like it.
See, where, you know, I can see that this is, you know, as you coin it, bollocks, but I like it. You know, it again. It's like when we said on Outcast, it takes me back to being 16, 17, 18, and, you know, it was the shit that we would have on while drinking and watching wrestling and playing video games
Well,
and
it's funny because, like, I remember in,
period.
like, us talking kind of offline, and obviously we haven't covered this, but, like, I think my exposure to him was for the wrestling, wasn't it? You know, like, he
Yeah.
was big into or big used by the wrestling and things like that, and obviously his music got used quite a lot. And you know, like, I've got a few years on you, but I also look back at this with nostalgia, but the other side of nostalgia, because I go, oh, this is that trash that was being foisted out there that some people were buying, so they were making more of it. And do you know what? I think there probably is. Yeah, weirdly enough, like, kind of in the scheme of things, like, coming off of Outcasts, like Southern rappers, and I think the Southern rap scene really never got the foothold that East Coast and West Coast got. But I think there's some amazing Southern rappers out there, and I guess the problem I have with stuff like this is I think it probably held a lot of that back. And I know it's different. Like, I know this is like rock, like trashy white boy hip hop sort of thing, but I think there's probably a lot of people out there like me who just went, oh, I think I'll avoid the South for a while because there's a good chance I might be getting this. Where there's probably, even in this, like the Southern rock mixed with hip hop, there's probably some brilliant stuff out there. I'm still yet to find it from him, and I'm very doubtful I ever will, because I just think he's style over substance for me. I don't think there's any substance there, and I think it's all about style. It's all about
It is all very much look at me. It's
Yeah,
it
yeah.
you know, especially this sort of period and like the album before, and so much of it is me, me, me. I'm so great. Look at what I've done. And this is the thing. Obviously, we've said it on the hip hop stuff where we don't like. Both of us aren't really massive fans of that sort of hip hop of
No, no, it
look at
has
me
to
and
be
look at my
bloody
car. Look at
exceptional. Yeah, yeah,
but
to reel us in, doesn't it?
but for some reason, this just I think and this isn't a oh look at me I'm so smart. I see the joke, or I say joke, but the fact of oh look, aren't you just basically up your own ass boy? But I see it for what it is. I'm not there going, he's aspirational.
Here's my fundamental problem with that, though: is you say you're not saying I'm so smart, and you see the joke. You're the butt of the joke because you paid money for this. So he's laughing at you.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. Of kind of going, unless you're doing this ironically, and he's not. But you funded this, even though you're sitting there going, yeah, I get it. But no, like, did you get it? Because you allowed him to make more of this. You allowed this to perpetuate.
But as I said, it's that thing of like I like it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
understand.
but I get you on the like it. But then I don't think and I see the joke, because I don't think those two things can coexist, because you would reject it if you saw the joke. And if anything, you are, you create the problem. You're the problem, Chris. Yeah.
I'll
All those
take
age-old
that.
things that we do in TVs and movies and things like that. But yeah, yeah, it ceases to be a joke when, like, or it's funny once. It's a one-time joke, but when people keep funding it, it stops being a joke anymore, doesn't it? And it starts to be serious because someone's actually making a load of money off of the same gag over and over again. And there are a lot of comedians that do that. So, we know it happens in the world.
This is true. So,
Yeah.
Dana, let us know what you think of the Kid Rock.
And
Um,
I know it seems unlikely, but anyone who's got some suggestions for some Kid Rock songs that they think I will like, and again, I think I'd like something that maybe skews a little bit away from more into the southern rock style of it, and like something with a teensy bit more substance. I don't want him to suddenly do a song where it's about changing the world, but something where it's something where I don't think he wrote the lyrics down on a fag packet 3 minutes before he recorded it.
so yeah, but sort of the latter albums, Dana. We'll get him. We'll get
The
him on
ones where
some
apparently it
southern
gets
stuff.
politically shit, but
Oh no,
I'll
not
go
the
for it.
newest one, not
Oh,
the
okay,
newest
okay,
album,
okay.
not the one where he, is trying to fight the woke and has gone far too Trumpian. But
There's a few things I've been listening to recently, by the way, that we may bring to the channel, because there seems to be a bit of a trend in the southern style music at the moment of very much kind of fight the woke, and I think not that I love the idea of doing it, but actually, if anyone's got like some prime examples of that, because again, we look for conversation starters, and I think it's almost the antithesis of what we believe in. So I think it might be interesting from that token, because we've done a lot of stuff where the message in the music has been a message that we agree with, and I'm quite interested to go, can we still like something if we don't agree with the message? I don't know, is the honest truth, but I think it might be an interesting exercise. Yeah.
So down there, let us know. YouTube.
God, how did we manage to do that much talking about a Kid Rock song? Look, drove conversation, so it's brilliant. Well done, Sarah.
So like, subscribe, and ring the bells, and until next time, good day.